Marco Nessie,
Here.
Gerald Wilkins,
Here.
Kevin McKay,
Here.
William Ross,
Here.
Scott Bridges,
Here.
Robert Cliff,
Here.
Jason Krumpa,
Here.
Clifford Scott,
Here.
Maria Lopez, here.
Thank you. Introduction of guests. Mike Kunzberg.
Mike Dudley, agency staff.
Jim Fink from Business First Newspaper.
Edwin Lee from Deloitte.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Anthony Shimalavish from Deloitte.
Morning, I am Vedreva from KD Ingredients.
Jim Gold from NCIDA Corporation.
Subaru staff.
Okay, great. Thank you. Will you please stand for a pledge of allegiance? Jason, will you?
Sure. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
5.1, regular meeting from April 13th. Bill? The approval of last meeting minutes.
Okay. So moved. Or second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Kevin?
6.1, agency payable, April 30th, I make motion to approve the funds be in order.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
6.2, budget variance report, April 30th, found those to be in order, make a motion to approve. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 7.0, governance meeting. Okay.
Our governance committee held a lengthy meeting at 8 o'clock to discuss the labor policy and solar project policy, and both have been discussed and tabled.
The solar was not.
I'm sorry to be correct.
The solar was being moved.
Right.
As a follow-up, as you remember, a number of months ago, the agency put a moratorium on their solar energy policy, being concerned with the use of its benefit for projects in whether it's farmland or other communities where there were other uses for that land other than solar. After a number of discussions with the county as well as the board over the last couple of months, the attached solar policy is up for consideration and for approval by the board. That solar policy basically states that the agency will, upon consent from the local municipality, entertain an application for financial assistance, that financial assistance being only the county's portion of the sales tax benefit, that we would not entertain pilots, that we would leave that to the local municipalities to enter into and negotiate on their own behalf. But that financial assistance would be limited to solar projects on sites located on or within 1/2 mile of a capped landfill, a remediated brownfield site, or a site accepted into the New York State Brownfield Cleanup Program. And I believe, Mr. Chairman, that this was something that the committee, the governance committee, has recommended to the board for approval. Is that correct, Mr. Wilkins?
Yes.
So we're looking for a motion on this particular policy.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we need a roll
Well,
call?
we need a roll call on this. Yes, please. Thank you.
Mr. Wilkins,
Yes.
Mr. McCabe,
Yes.
Mr. Ross,
Yes.
Mr. Bridges,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Krumpa,
I'll stay for this vote.
Mr. Cliff,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez? Yes. Mr. Onesi?
Yes. Thank you. Local labor policy.
All right, this is the policy that we did table. We had a long discussion, and without getting into the discussion part, I think it would be good for us to come back in a work session and discuss some of the additional items. One additional item, Mark, which I thought was excellent, was the policy for future employees, correct? The internships and.
Yeah, we're gonna actually handle the apprenticeship policy, which is as a separate policy completely.
Okay.
But the work session, what we'll do is we'll review, again, and go through some of the possible language, Mr. Chairman, of what, should be included, what shouldn't be included in the local labor, work out the details of that, and then also start to entertain an apprenticeship policy.
That would be a separate, new policy.
Separate policy.
Thank you, that's the report.
No. And I just like to thank Mr. Bridges. I mean, his input on the labor side is something that a lot of us are not aware of, and we appreciate the time he's put into this policy. Thanks.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Do we need a motion to table it?
Not on the table, that's just information. Thank you.
All right, 8.0, 8.1, NIASA Corporation.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. As you recall, the NIASA Corporation previously entertained or applied here for benefits for a small project located in the city of Niagara Falls. That project is continuing to move forward under the same general description. There is new ownership, underlying ownership, even though the corporation itself remains the same. That project is moving forward, it appears. However, as of today, it appears that it may not close by the end of its expiration date. This inducement ends in June of this coming year, and the resolution you have before you is a resolution extending that resolution for 6 months. This is the first time such an extension is being considered by the board.
Merely an extension, just an extension.
Just an extension on 8.1.1, correct, thank you.
Are there any questions? Any issues? Need a motion for?
So, no vote.
Second.
Mr. Wolf, okay, Mr. Kernkoff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We need a roll call vote.
None on that.
All right, 8.2, Eleanor Apartments.
If it sounds familiar, it is. We've already approved the assignment of the Eleanor Apartments to what was previously Niagara Creek LLC. It is the exact same ownership, it is the exact same project, it is the exact same assignment. However, last week, the assignee council notified me that they are no longer using Niagara Creek LLC as the name of the group or the entity that's taking ownership of this. It's now going to be called the Eleanor Apartments at Niagara LLC. I advised them that we need to get board approval. It's a different entity, whether ownership is the same or not. So we've already approved this, but we have to reapprove it for the new name of Eleanor Apartments at Niagara LLC.
Any questions?
So moved.
Okay,
Is there someone from here from the apartments?
Not that they were here the original time, so it's just a name change, but thank you, Jerry.
I need a second.
Second.
Mr. Wolfgang, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We don't need a motion.
We don't have the front end.
All right. New business, 9.1, NIASA Corporation. Andrew?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. NIASA Corporation is a chemical manufacturing company primarily focused in pharmaceutical, food, and feed industries. In September of 21, NIASA was acquired by Kerry Group, an Ireland-based food company. So Kerry Group and NIASA are contemplating a possible expansion project at the Niagara Falls facility. The project before you this morning is specifically the NXDT project, which would be an expansion of 25,000 to 35,000 square foot building with an investment of $48 million and the creation of 51 new jobs. Today we have a representative from NIASA, Kerry Group, and 2 gentlemen from Deloitte.
Would you like to come to the table and give us a little bit about your project? You can do it from there if you want.
Good morning. I'm Jim Cole, I'm the facilities manager at NIASA Corp.
NCT is the next generation of dryer technology. This will make our processes and our products, expand our product group, expand our workforce, and also move it forward into the next 20+ years of manufacturing. We'll be able to meet the needs of our customers with the highest quality of product.
This is a new technology that's going to be brought to the country. It is originally just in Europe right now. So as the board is moving through their decision-making process, this will be a completely new technology that will be developed and produced in the Niagara Falls facility if the board gives the approval to move forward the project.
Any questions from the board?
Can you talk about the environmental concerns?
There is none.
What went into the environmental, was it phase 1, phase 2? That is, I run a housing authority.
Okay.
In Packersford, which is not far from there. I have a responsibility to ask if there are any, as you guys want to expand, are there any issues with environmental?
No, it's
Will there
fully
have
organic chemistry. And,
Can I wrap my head around what the technology is going to, how is it going to benefit your corporation?
we'll be able to give a higher quality product to our customers and also a broader material specifications as far as size, dust free, and so forth.
Are you creating jobs too?
Yep, 50+.
50 plus. Great.
I think the 51 jobs are probably about, for this project alone, put on average salary about $70,000 a year.
Do you have an international basis for customers, or is this strictly within the United States?
As far as for the NCIDA, it's global. Global.
And second, you acknowledge that with the success of this particular product and this site, you could expand and double the site.
Sorry.
I'm not following.
Future-wise, in other words, if this is successful,
Right.
drawing more customers,
So you're talking about the,
there's
a potential for a phase
possibilities
2.
future-wise
Correct.
of developing a second site close to this, at this site, which would need further expansion.
That's correct. If the board gives the approval to move forward with this phase 1 of the NSDT and it's successful, the return on investment is good, it could be used to convince the board to move forward with phase 2 of the NSD project at the Niagara Falls facility.
Are there any other considerations by NICID or the senior corporation for other sites outside Niagara Falls?
Yes, there are. They're looking at either putting it in Niagara Falls or they're going to put it in another one at their home base.
Right, so it's important to us that you're considering that second site again in Niagara Falls.
Correct.
Could you give a quick overview of the project itself? I mean, $48 million for 35,000 square feet seems like a big number.
There's a lot of equipment that's going to be purchased as well.
Okay.
So you're looking at not only are you looking at build out, you're looking at machinery investments, you're looking at storage tanks, you're looking at engineering fees. There's an application that's going in for a substation that's going to be built on the property. So the $48 million capital investment is all inclusive of tenant fit out, machinery and equipment purchases, and engineering fees and soft costs.
So there's 21 million in equipment alone.
It's about that. It's like 20. It's about that.
What's the average salary? Because you're talking about 51 new jobs, but at very high levels within your company structure.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Maybe.
Oh, for the employees, it's going to be an average salary about 70,000. Range is probably goes from 50,000 to 130.
I think it sounds great. I know people that work there, I know contractors that work there. They're good paying jobs with benefits. I think this is a great thing to have come to Niagara Falls.
Any other questions, comments? Any motion for the preliminary resolution, Mr. Scott, Mr. Franco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any roll call vote?
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krumpa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez? Yes. Mr. Onesi?
Yes. I also need a motion for the authorizing the public hearing. Mr. Wolfgang, Mr. Bridges, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any roll call vote on that as well? Is that-
No,
No?
we're fine on that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So that's some expansion jobs. Yes, it is. That's for sure.
Okay, 9.2, COVID relief for small business grant approvals. Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For each of these grant applications, our consultants from H. Sickerman, along with the IDA staff, reviewed all the documents submitted for grant eligibility criteria. 9.2.1, T's Unique Hair and Beauty LLC is a retail beauty supply store that opened on Main Street in Niagara Falls in March of 2020, just days before the government ordered of the COVID shutdown. The business was shut down for 4 months after the initial opening and incurred additional expenses to reopen in compliance with COVID safety measures. Although they had a lack of revenue, which led to strained working capital, they continued to operate with temporary limited hours. They've seen increasing sales in the past year, which demonstrates a market for their products and services. The owner is qualified as a low to moderate income owned business. Their grant request is for $47,000. Use of funds will be to stock up on inventory to increase business and also for working capital to be used to pay monthly expenses. We recommend approval of this grant request as the applicant qualifies based on meeting all grant eligibility requirements.
Any questions? This doesn't require new jobs.
No, because she qualifies as low to moderate income.
Any questions?
Is this a reimbursable
Yes,
grant?
yep,
It is, right?
it's completely reimbursable.
So given this applicant's credit score,
Mm-hmm.
obviously there is some trepidation here. But if this is a reimbursable grant, right?
Yes, sir.
I would recommend we move forward.
Yeah, that was a concern. There's really no guideline on credit. Doesn't matter.
There are none.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no standard.
So I have a motion for Mr. Scott, have a second. Mr. Franco? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any roll call vote?
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krumpa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez? Yes. Mr. Onesi?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, since our last meeting, I've spoken to a number of businesses. In fact, I just mentioned it to Mark at the beginning of our meeting. And they're afraid to file because it's a federal loan, even though it's through us. They're afraid to file to go through the paperwork. There are a number of businesses that are eligible who suffered damages during COVID-19. And although the IDA has done a great job in getting this information out, it's like people will say to me, I never heard of that, or I didn't know about that, even though it's been in the papers. But when I ask really questions of them why they haven't inquired, it's because they're afraid of the paperwork.
And what's funny is, and I can't speak, I'll let Sue and Sue speak to it, but we've had a tremendous response. We have had, notwithstanding the number of COVID grants we've already provided, and Sue, I'll let you talk to it. We have a stack sitting there, obviously, as the date received, that are still pending approval and or potential funding down the line. So, you know, I know we encourage as many as we can, but it's all going to be subject to what monies we are able to get sometime down the line.
I think people are, if I had to guess, you know, they're thinking about the PPP and the idle paperwork.
They're afraid of those.
Assuming that ours, it's a 4-page application, it couldn't be any easier. Like the amount of information being put on a napkin, like we couldn't have made that.
And if they hesitate, we have sent them to SBDC for assistance, because SBDC, free of charge, will help them fill out the application. So if there were people that said, you know, I'm really confused, I don't know what to do, I send them to SBDC, who we work really close with, and they know what information we need. Then once it gets to us during our review, if there's questions, we definitely will follow up on those.
When I saw the guidelines, it didn't seem too complex, but I can understand some
I
people.
think it's an excuse because, you know, one particular person has applied recently and made the papers. If you know what I'm saying. So that negative carries on to them, that they'll say, I'm not gonna go through that. You know what I'm saying? That person wrongly filed. Thank you.
Could it also be a problem that once they make that application, the state or whatever can just audit them, get into their business, and that's another fear for a lot of folks when they do these kinds of things, that would make them feel a lot more at ease or whatever. Okay, the process. All right, any other questions, comments? I need a motion. Mr. Trumpa, is a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Lopez, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Need a roll call vote, please.
I think this was.
What was this one for?
We have to do Willie Speaks on it.
Yeah, he Willie speaks, or Willie A speaks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Willie, first speaks, okay, Andrew, Artis, Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And
9.2.2 Willie A. Price Speaks LLC is a Niagara Falls business that provides physical, personal, and financial development workshops to youth and families in at-risk living situations. The majority of the programs are co-sponsored by community organizations and schools. Since these programs are presented in school and community settings, the business saw significant loss during COVID due to remote learning and community gathering restrictions. They've continued to present some programs in person, but in order to increase revenue, they will be investing in presenting the programs in a virtual method to be able to present more programs locally, as well as other cities with the need for these workshops. The owner qualifies as a low to moderate income owned business. The grant request is for $8,400 to be used for working capital, such as inventory of workshop materials, as well as technology equipment to present the virtual workshops. We recommend approval of this grant request as the applicant qualifies based on meeting all grant requirements.
what kind of services did they, what general topics or whatever do they do?
So they have seminars called Boys to Men and Growing Financially. He does have some health ones also that'll be with dealing with COVID. Workbooks and things will be given to them. The classes are taught. We did receive recommendation letters from Niagara Falls School District. He does give them safety kits and things like that within the program, and just trying to teach them some things that they may not learn in school.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Need a motion before Mr. Trumpa? Need a second?
Second.
Ross, all in favor? Any opposed? Any roll call vote?
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McKay?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krumpa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Onesi?
Yes. Okay, thank you. 9.0, Agency Council, Mr. Gabriel, anything?
Actually, I'm gonna ask that we go into executive session regarding some contractual, negotiations that we're presently in. I don't believe there's anything else on the agenda, so that would probably end our meeting at that time.
Okay. All right, make a motion to go into executive, session, Mr. Campbell. And, Mr. McCabe, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks. See you.
See you next month.